So recently, it feels like almost every credit card has been getting hit with negative updates, like the Citi Prestige card removing the unlimited priority pass benefit and the exclusion period for new card sign-up bonuses doubling from 12 to 24 months. Now, changes like these are nothing new in the world of credit cards and frequent flyer programs, but when all of these updates and devaluations happen in such a short period of time, for those of us who have been churning credit cards for a while now, it can seem like the value that we were once getting from all of these cards are getting squeezed and that our options are now more limited than ever. So in this video, I want to address this undeniable problem that many credit cards are facing right now and explain why we're seeing all of these negative changes. But then more importantly, I also want to talk about how to actually fight back against these changes, as well as what I'm personally doing to focus my credit card strategy on sort of simplifying things while still getting maximum value back from all of my spending. All right, so to start things off, let's talk about why credit cards these days are getting worse and worse. And in my opinion, it really comes down to two simple reasons. The first one is going to be profitability. There was a pretty interesting report published by ASIC last year on the state of the credit card market within Australia. Comparing data on the credit card market back in 2017, the market had seen a significant decline in the number of open credit card accounts, decreasing from 14.1 million down to 11.8. But more importantly, the amount of outstanding balances with interest being charged decreased significantly from $31.2 billion to $19 billion. This of course means that the total interest charged by banks nearly halved from 436 million to 243 million. On top of this, the fees that were paid by consumers overall also decreased from 1.4 billion to 1.2 billion dollars. Now, banks or credit providers essentially have three main revenue drivers when it comes to credit cards, with two that we've already touched on. Number one is going to be the fees that cardholders pay, which include annual fees, but also late payment fees and stuff like that. Number two, there's interchange fees, which is actually just like another fee of around 1 to 3% of each transaction that merchants end up paying issuers and payment networks so that they can accept credit cards. And then number three, there's interest, which is what cardholders who carry a balance from month to month are going to end up paying for borrowing that money and then not paying it back right away. However, as many of you know, if you watch my channel, that interest revenue can be avoided entirely by simply just paying off your credit card statement balance in full every single month before the payment due date. I think it's awesome to see that the amount of interest being collected by these banks and providers has decreased significantly, because it means that more people are becoming educated on just how dangerous credit cards can be and how to properly use them. Now, within these three revenue drivers, banks really don't have a lot of control over the interest or interchange revenue they receive, as this is largely dependent on how frequently customers are using their credit cards for interchange revenue and their customers' financial habits. The only thing in their control is in relation to the annual fees that they charge, which is why we've probably seen cards like the Velocity Flyer card nearly double its annual fee from $79 to $149, and why we've seen a big shift in sign-up bonuses being offered by banks, now incentivizing customers with more reward and frequent flyer points when you keep your card open for more than 12 months, essentially requiring you to pay for that annual fee for a second time. The second reason as to why credit cards are getting worse, in my opinion, is due to less competition within the market. Over the years, there have been a series of mergers and acquisitions between banks. Just last year in 2024, ANZ completed its acquisition of Suncorp. In 2022, NAB announced its acquisition of Citibank's consumer banking business in Australia. And then in 2008, Westpac and St. George finalized its merger, whilst CommBank also finalized its acquisition of Bankwest. Now, whilst there are a lot of compelling dynamics from a business perspective as to why banks undergo mergers and acquisitions, it's undeniable that there is significantly less competitors within the credit card space compared to previously, as we now really only have like 5 to 6 main competitors. Less competition overall has meant that banks and credit providers no longer need to be as competitive with their sign-up offers, and the same can be said for the additional benefits that typically come along with credit cards as well, such as travel insurance and travel credits. Citibank stopped offering its pay all feature back in January of 2025, and Westpac also recently announced that they'll be reducing the ongoing earn rates and introduce limits across all of their credit cards as well. Long story short, but banks are earning less revenue now from credit cards, and to offset that, they technically need to cut back on their costs by reducing the number of points that they give out as a sign-up bonus, as well as stripping back a lot of the additional perks and benefits as well. All right, so I guess now the question is, how do we actually fight back against all of these changes that are happening right now and will probably continue to happen into the future? Well, firstly, I think we have to be more strategic with our credit cards and take advantage of upsized sign-up bonuses wherever we can. I think the golden days of when you could sign up for one credit card, meet the sign-up bonus, cancel the card, and then almost immediately sign up for another card are almost gone. And that's because the new exclusion periods introduced by banks for sign-up bonus eligibility really hinders that strategy. These are all of the current rating periods across all of the main credit providers. And as you can see, with most of the banks, you'll need to wait at least 18 months before you're eligible to sign up. And even though you might be eligible to sign up again, some credit providers like American Express are now known to just flat out reject your application if they see that you have the tendency to sign up for multiple credit cards. Now, sometimes there are nuances with these waiting periods for specific providers. So for example, with NAB, they treat their Qantas branded NAB credit cards different to the NAB Rewards credit cards, so the exclusion periods don't apply in this scenario. I always recommend reading the T's and C's before you sign up for new credit cards to make sure that you're eligible. Now, instead of signing up for multiple credit cards each year, I think it's better to be more strategic now and wait for either upsized sign-up bonuses or special offers that give you even more value. For example, right now with Westpac's Altitude Qantas Black and Platinum card, you can get up to 75,000 Qantas points with the Platinum or 120,000 Qantas points with the Black, and pay a $0 annual fee for both cards in the first year as an existing Westpac customer. American Express also oftentimes will run upsized sign-up bonuses at least once or twice a year across all of their cards. With this approach, even though you're signing up for less credit cards, at least with each credit card you sign up for, you're maximizing the value that you're getting for that particular card. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest credit card offers and updates, then make sure you subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. With that newsletter, my goal is to help people optimize their everyday finances, save more money, and live a wealthier and healthier life. Every week, I also include a credit card deal of the week where I share credit cards that either have special offers or an upsized sign-up bonus. Links will be down below if you're interested. Second, we need to ensure that we keep track of the credit cards that we sign up for, and more importantly, when we close them. This is so that we know exactly when we are eligible to sign up for a credit card with that provider again in order to take advantage of another sign-up bonus. Whilst 18 to 24 months seems like a long time between each provider, you'd be surprised at just how quickly time can pass if you hop around between providers a few times a year. And before you know it, you'll be able to sign up for the same provider again. Now, I've created a credit card tracker that I personally use day to day to do just this. All you have to do is input the details around when you signed up and closed a specific credit card, and it'll let you know the earliest date in which you're now eligible to sign up again based on the latest exclusion periods. It'll also keep track of all the points that you've accumulated across all of the reward programs and the annual fees that you've paid to date to give you better insight into your credit card journey. So if you want to get access to it, then I'll leave a link down below where you can download it. And don't worry, it's completely free. All that I ask is that you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as that's the best way to support me here on this channel. The third thing that we need to do is to ensure that we're optimizing the ongoing earn rates of our points. Because we might not be signing up for as many credit cards moving forward, we really need to ensure that we're using the best credit cards possible in every single transaction to maximize the number of points that we are earning. For me and my wife, this means that we'll be using my Amex Platinum Edge card whenever we buy groceries or refuel our car for the 3 times Amex points. For all other purchases, we'll use my HSBC Star Alliance credit card to effectively earn 0.8 KrisFlyer miles per dollar spent up until the $3,000 monthly cap. And then for all other purchases where Amex is accepted, we'll use my wife's Amex Explorer to earn us 2 Amex reward points. And for situations where Amex isn't accepted, we'll probably use whichever Visa or MasterCard we currently have on rotation at the time, which is currently the Velocity Flyer card, which earns us 0.66 Velocity points per dollar spent for the first $1,500 per month. Now, obviously, this is how I'm planning to optimize my earn rates each month, and your own strategy will be different based on the credit cards that you have in your rotation. But just make sure that you're familiar with the ongoing earn rates, as well as any monthly limits for each of your credit cards, and then work out the method that's going to earn you the most amount of points each month. Finally, you can earn as many points as you'd like, but if you're not using them properly, then you're essentially wasting all the effort that you've just put in. So if you're interested in making sure you maximize the value you're receiving from either your Qantas, Velocity, or American Express points, then I've made full guides on my channel that I'll pop all over here, so you can check on one of those videos next. If not, then as always, thanks for watching, and I'll hope to see you in a future video.